Hello. It is Thursday. Buck is doing whatever Buck is doing. I'm Ian. These are my friends, and we're here talking Bad Blood. Before I do yeah, put that on. That'd be great. Before I do our little banner for the day, just want to introduce our special guest, Primer. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right, and we have Primer on tonight because we are talking about the night game that he is running for Bad Blood this year.
It's really dark out there, truly.
Yeah. So as always, well, not always, but usually we have another guest. We have Moondog. How you doing?
Hey, good. And I'm just glad that you're putting on a shirt and not pants, there, Buck. But I'm glad to be here. I'm representing the west coast of the country. Oh wait, we've just lost.
He'll be
Head
back.
kill.
We just
Lost
lost
Nick.
Head Kill.
He'll be back.
Okay. So
And
yeah, and we have
of course-
Buck.
Buck wearing whatever he is wearing. How you doing?
This is the Hawaiian that I have worn every single year for Bad Blood for the past 5 years.
All right, I'll take it. So let's get started. Primer, night game.
Hello. Hi.
What's the basic plan?
It's similar to last year, but I took all of the comments and suggestions that were thrown at me at the end of the game where people were having trouble with it. People were confused. I don't want to lose the milsim aspect because some people were just expecting an attack defend, and that's not my style. There has to be an objective. So we're going to do there's going to be a scientist involved. You got to find him. You got to go find a underground facility. I'm going to have some explosives that you have to rig before you leave. And this time, because people really couldn't find the objectives last time, I had a lot of them. I invested in some of these fun little lights. So these things get really bright, but these will strobe on top of each objective so you can find them, like the big objectives. So I ran this the other day because I wanted to see how long it would take for this to die out, and it lasts like the whole time. And then on their smaller objectives, I have these little thingies that I can. These will kind of like sit here and just strobe. So the objectives will be clearly marked. You still have to know how to read grid coordinates. I saw the map this year has changed, so it's a little bit less intense of how many grids that you have to figure out. But there will be intel, there will be objectives. You don't have to find a CIA operative anymore. You just kind of get to an LZ. So it'll be a fun time, and it won't be as complicated as last time.
What's what's your timetable look like?
So I believe 7:30 briefing. Around 7:40, 7:50, we'll try to get out to the field, and then once we get all the teams set up, we'll try to get start X around like 8. And then we're going to try to end the game around 10, and everybody off the field by 10:30, because I believe Timmy wanted to make sure that people were off by then.
All right, that's good. Because early Friday chrono is scheduled to last until 8, depending on how many people are on site. So if you do plan to play in the night game, make sure you chrono early. Don't wait till last minute. You want to be through chrono by 7:30 because the briefing is important. You got to figure out exactly what it is you're out there doing. So,
Just be
And I'll
aware,
have
guys. We'll be
information
there
packets.
very early for chrono, so we will be set up and ready to go. So we'll be ripping and rolling because we're going to be leaving New York early in the morning to get there on time and make sure we are all set up and settled before we even have to worry about it.
yeah, chrono is due to start at 4 p.m. Earlier if there's enough people and we're ready to go. But hard start is going to be 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, so that'll work. That's perfect. Ted,
And I have extra
Any-
packets for people who don't read player packets. I'm going to try to send it out a little bit early so that people can get acquainted with the objectives.
Okay.
And one of the biggest requirements, and you're probably going to ask me this later, but I'll say it now. The biggest requirements is a flashlight if you don't have night vision, a buddy. If you don't have a buddy, find a buddy, and a red dead rag, which is I still have these left over from last year. So if you didn't bring them, I'm not charging them. They're not charging for them. They just like literally, if you don't have one, just say, hey, I don't have one, and then I'll give you one. If you lose it, come back and I'll give you another one. So I have a lot of these left over, so that like when you're dead, you can say I'm dead and wave it around so people don't keep shooting you.
That's
Okay,
good.
yeah, that was actually going to be my next line of questioning. Is there, other than some kind of glow in the dark, look, I'm over here signaling device? Do you have any special equipment that's required for players?
No, just the flashlight. The red color is the required color. The green is reserved for staff.
Okay, sounds good.
If you see a green person walking around, that's a staff member. And if you have any questions, go ask them, and they'll get me on radio or something. I'll be chilling at the LZ the whole night. I've learned from last year that I can't play in the game that I'm running, so I'll just chill out in the field. And if there's any problems, we'll we'll try to get there and fix them.
How are you going to differentiate forces? Because I'm assuming it's not a every man for himself kind of thing.
It's going to be stick with your team members. It's going to be very much like if you've ever played Tarkov, you have to kind of wiggle to make sure that your team members are your team members, and if they're not wiggling the right way, you shoot.
All right.
The only person that you really kind of have to PID is the scientist. If you kill the scientist, you have to wait 10 minutes for him to respawn, and then to continue on the mission. So once you find the scientist will lead you to the facility. Along the way, if the scientist does get shot, you have to sit there and wait 10 minutes while the scientist respawns, and then continue on to the facility. Same thing with exfil.
All right, I'm going to bring up the map real fast. What part of the AO are you confined to?
So last year we had pretty much from let's see, A, B, C, D, and E were pretty much in play. Anything beyond that, so F, G, and H were out.
Okay, so you got pretty much run of the gamut of the playable field.
From
Okay,
3 to 8. So 3 to 8, A, B, C, D, and E were the in play. Anything outside there, I mean, if you have a compass, bring that. If you don't know where you are or what way you're facing, if you want to bring a cell phone out on the field, I wouldn't, because I mean, you drop it in the night at night, it's kind of lost without
Don't
it.
do it.
And also it'll give you away your position if you're looking like at a cell phone light. So that it'll be confined to 3 through 8, and then A through E, that kind of grid.
awesome, perfect. So let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about. And you're wearing so eloquently for our talk tonight. How important is night vision for this kind of thing? And can someone without it still be
as
effective?
much as I don't want to say it, it is kind of like a pay to win thing. Night vision does give you a huge advantage if you know how to use it. If you never use night vision, and your friends are letting you borrow some, I don't know if you have good friends, definitely talk to me beforehand so I can give you a run through of how to use night vision. If you're just using Gen 1s, I have a whole write-up that I can give you to tell you don't even bring them on the field. Your regular vision with like a 20-minute dark time is way better than Gen 1 will ever be.
I don't know. We were talking about it earlier today, and I've fielded some Starlight stuff, and I was fine.
Right. Yeah, but the only problem with Gen 1 is that it requires a lot of IR like light, and you're pretty much the sun to anyone with Gen 2 or Gen 3. So it's a dead giveaway for any opposing.
Yeah, you might as well be walking around with a flashlight.
Yeah. So that's I mean, for opposing forces, when an op 4 has night vision, the community usually stresses passive shooting, which is actually without any IR at all. Everybody loves lasers, but in a real world situation, you would not actually try to use them as actually. If the op 4 does have night vision, then you're giving away your position immediately.
All right, so I'm an incredible old schooler when it comes to my gear. We've had this discussion. My gear is 60 years old, right? So assume I know absolutely nothing of what the kids these days are using. Give me the 30-word version on lasers, pro and con.
Pro, you don't have to like bring your gun up. I've seen a lot of people at night shoots. So I work for Night Vision Devices. If anyone doesn't know that, I'm actually their social media coordinator. So I go to night shoots monthly. So active shooting with a laser is kind of like if you have taken the time to sight your laser in, which a lot of people don't. They're just like, it's good enough. You don't really have to bring your weapon up. You can just kind of shoot it from the hip. Some people shoot over barricades just like this, and they get the laser on target and shoot. It's very much like a point and click thing. So there's that. It's cool when no one's shooting back at you. Like in a lot of the films, if you've seen like 13 Hours, people use them as like a, hey, this is where I am, the lasso kind of thing. But like in a Op 4 situation, lasers are kind of like a no-no because it'll give away your position immediately.
What about red versus green? I know green is the rage.
They're just stronger. They're visible. So I mean, you'd see it. I mean, under night vision, it'll look like a laser, but in the visible spectrum, like you'll see exactly where someone's coming from and where they're pointing. IR lasers, obviously, they're the only thing that you can't see. Like they're not visible, so you have to have night vision. They're visible through Gen 1s, Gen 2s, Gen 3s. Not visible through thermal. So, yeah, it's a dead giveaway. Lasers are pretty much just kind of the cool factor. They're not really used as much as people think they are used.
All right, because I don't use them at all. I wouldn't know the first thing to do. I wouldn't even know how to sight it in, to be honest with you. Like, is it like zeroing a scope? You just start
absolutely. There's a windage. There's a elevation. There's windage. There's a really quick and dirty way to do it. You just point your gun at the sky. If your optic is not sighted in either, then you have a problem there too. But usually, you just point your gun at the sky. You look at your optic, and then you make sure that the laser is right up to the optic, and that's kind of your infinite point for a quick sight in if you don't have time.
Let's not go pointing lasers at the sky, though, because last thing we need is the FAA showing up.
Right?
Don't point it at the planes.
Yeah, I don't get it. More power to you. For those of you who do get it, and are being even a tech inclined person that I am, I don't get it. Night vision to me is close one eye for 20 minutes and I'm good to go. So
no, and that's the biggest argument between dual tubes and a single tube. A single tube, you still have that one eye that has your natural night vision, where if you need to go in and out of a situation, your eye's already adjusted. And if you have duals, you don't have any night vision when you flip them up. So it's completely dark.
What's the deal with those 4-tube things? Is that just all fantasy?
4 tubes is just FOV.
Peripheral.
So this is just like a 40 degree or so. With that, it's like 75 or so. So you just have way more. They're heavy though. Like a lot of like they're good for quick like ins and outs. But if you're gonna be sitting there for like 10 hours, you don't want that on your head. It's so because you have to also counterweight them, so you have double the amount of things on your head, and it's tiring.
All right, so I think this is a question more for you, Buck, and probably Nick, because I know Moondog, you haven't been out on an airsoft field in whatever.
Well, as Ted said earlier, he discovered that you can't play airsoft while you're running in your game. So yeah.
So let's assume I'm out there and I don't have anything other than my natural eyesight, night vision. Give me some tips on how I can actually have fun Friday night.
Be with people that don't have night vision, because they'll help you along, and or have like one person that you can kind of follow. But night games are really fun. the Zulu 24, which is east of EMR up in upstate New York.
Mhm.
They require tracers for their night games. So
Okay.
like it kind of equalizes it for the night vision users. So that it's not just like the night vision users just sneaking around shooting people and then leaving, and people had no idea where they were getting shot from. So that when you shoot, you know where exactly that's what something like where it's coming from. I find those games like really fun. A lot of people enjoy them because even if you don't have night vision, you can be on the same playing field because you know where that fire is coming from.
I think
But
that's a good point too, because
Mhm.
we all know that, you know, it's kind of common practice where if you don't see where the BB's coming from, oh, was I really hit? Yes, you were really hit. Just call it and rejoin the
Yeah.
game like everybody else. So just
right.
because you can't see who's shooting at you doesn't mean they're not. They obviously
I
see
think
you.
I think the demographic who come to Bad Blood, there's like maybe 2% who come with night vision. So most people are going to be out there. I think actually last
Hey,
year,
I'm part of the 2%.
I think like last year it was just staff who had night vision. So it was just fine for everybody because everybody was kind of like lolling around in the dark, not knowing where they were.
Even playing field, so to speak.
Yeah, and it
Dude,
was
so many
people had a
people
lot
were
of
eating the grass last year. It was hilarious.
people were having a lot of fun. Night really
I
adds
did.
an aspect of kind of like the fog of war in the real time because you have no idea what you're looking like. You have no idea where anything is. As much as well as you know the field in the daytime, it gets very different at night.
Oh yeah.
Definitely go slower than you think you should because you're going to be tripping over stuff. If you're a new user to night vision, you're definitely going to be tripping over things because that gets you have to get used to that. But I find it, even if I don't run night vision, it's just a lot of fun to play in the dark. It's just like it's this weird thing because like no one has a lot of night games, so being able to
Mhm.
play at night is special.
I agree. Buck, what do you think? You played some night games in the
I have played
recent
some night
past.
games. I was at the night game for Bad Blood last year. It was a lot of fun. Not sure if we'll be doing it this year just because we've got a little bit of a bigger group of ours going. So I'm not sure how many are going to be participating or if I will be as well. But I know I had a lot of fun. I recommend everybody don't be afraid to eat the dirt a little bit. If you hear fire going over your head, that's a sign they think you're over there. Maybe leave.
Yeah. What about you, Head? You played any night stuff?
So, no, I have a long time ago. This is many years ago, and I did have one of the original like TM tracer units, which was a blast. But it's been many years. I haven't since. I've done some, low light stuff for real steel shooting, and that's definitely, definitely a lot different too. Got to know the flashlights and make sure you don't blind yourself too. And that's something to keep aware of. Yeah, don't blind yourself from your own flashlight. You may think 1,000 lumen or 1,000 lumen flashlight's great, lights up everything, but you'll ruin your night vision. You will, can potentially blind yourself, especially if you're close to structure. This backscatter can
Yeah.
get you worse, and you'll be seeing spots. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And probably you did say thermals, so I'm not sure if anybody's going to be running thermals, but thermals are great in low
I have
light and
thermals on
night
my
too.
rifle.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, Todsky and I were talking about our experience with night movement in the Vietnam reenacting world, and you're saying you go slow. And one thing we were taught when we
Mhm.
first started doing this
Absolutely.
was basically trained ourselves to walk in a different way. We walk toe to heel as opposed to heel to toe. That way you can you're quieter because if you're stepping on something that's about to crack under your feet, before it makes any real sound, right? But you also get a better footing of what is you're stepping on. So especially since you're using relatively open flat area that then comes into denser area with all those flagstones that are out there, and then you're getting some trees
Mhm.
and stuff in the
Yeah.
way. you're really going to want to know where you're stepping. Don't just, oh, I know EMR like the back of my hand. I could do it with my eyes closed. Yeah, like you said, at night it's a
mean the
completely
debris
different
hasn't moved.
world. So, yeah, it sounds good.
Doesn't mean somebody hasn't kicked up some dirt or something in a certain area, or it doesn't mean a certain area of leaves hasn't been moved.
Sure.
Or if there's if the area has been cut thicker than the other. Like, it changes literally every year. Timmy makes sure for us that we never get the same field twice, because he's constantly upgrading.
Yeah, and it's I'm assuming it's your game how you want to run it, but like it's not like the daytime Bad Blood where it's literally run and gun. If you run, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's definitely way.
Yeah, if you're running, there's a problem.
So, all right, that sounds good.
We've been getting a ton of rain this year too, so the grass is gonna be growing up pretty high.
And I don't know if you guys have looked into it. I'm looking at it now. The moon phase for that weekend is going to be a waxing crescent, so it's going to be fairly low moonlight.
Okay, that's good to know. How can non-night vision players counter or conceal themselves against? Oh, that's a good question.
So laying down and being still is absolutely great. Behind foliage, it's like so. As much as night vision is good, it obviously can't see through foliage. Wow, foliage. I mean, we're predators. We see movement. If you don't have movement, it's harder to see. The one thing that people don't know, and I have to stress this a lot, is that night vision players, they rely on that. It's almost like a crutch because like we're just so used to using it. If you stand completely still against something, unless you have like a light on you, we most likely won't be able to see you. So if you're moving a lot, absolutely we'll see you. The glow sticks though, and maybe I'll post this up. Put it somewhere like in a plate carrier, not in your outside pocket, because we can see those straight through your pocket. And a lot of people don't know this. Is like, yeah, I stuck it in my pocket. I can't see it. We can.
Do those glow sticks have like a lanyard hole or something like that?
Yes.
So get some paracord, put it around your neck, and then stuff it in your stuff.
Stick it in. Yeah. Put it in like an actual pouch or something, or like a double, like something that's doubled up, just so that like if it's in your back pocket, yeah, you're just walking around with a glow stick. I can see it's like what it's 40,000. So like we can see that. But yeah, the best way is move slowly. You hear something, stop, listen, keep moving. And I'm assuming that probably like one or two people are going to have night vision out there, so you're not going to be encountering anything too much. Yeah, we'll see. It's a fun time. Just don't be loud. Like during the day you can scream and like run and like blah, blah, blah. Night is the opposite. You want to go, what is that? Smooth is fast, whatever the hell that is.
Slow is smooth, smooth is
slow
fast.
is smooth. Yeah, there you go. You want to do that. There's no violence of action when you're sneaking around. That comes when you're coming through a door. I don't know, you're throwing a flashbang, whatever. That comes like night vision is really for movement to an objective. It's not, and trying to sneak up. I mean, airsoft is hard because there's not really much going on other than you guys are sneaking around. But just be slow, and make sure your teammates have good light discipline. You don't want to just be like, look at my flashlight, it's so cool, 1,000 lumens, and then I'm like, okay, they're right there. I can see them 400 yards that way. Like, yeah. So
you said the magic word. Is there anything that's not allowed? Like flashbangs, for example.
Flashbangs are allowed. I believe EMR has a smoke ban, but I don't know. There's a lot of rain, so I don't know if that's gonna. I guess we'll see on the field. We'll see. I have in my player packet no smoke grenades.
Yeah, let's just go on. Let's just go on the general rule that there's no smoke. That's a Timmy thing. It's not necessarily a terrain thing. That's a Timmy EMR thing.
Yeah.
So smoke's a no, but like, EGs and tagging products are back on the market, and they are allowed products for EMR. Do you have any
Oh no,
issues?
throw all the
flashbangs
grenades you want. I love grenades, especially at night, because you never know when they're gonna hit you.
Yeah, no, Todsky and I experienced that literally, at nose level, people throwing grenades at us from behind cover, and they
Yeah.
explode right here. And then, oh, guess what? Here comes another one.
Yeah. No, I've had many Milsom West experiences where we're raided in the middle of the night when we're sleeping with grenades, and it's terrifying, but it's fun.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Do you have any further tips for, because it's a short scenario?
Yeah, it's a short
you're looking
scenario.
at max of about 2 hours, right?
Know how to read grid courts, and each team will get a certain amount of numbers for codes for objectives. So know
Bring
how
a
to
map
use like
guide.
a lock. Yeah, you use
Bring
your
a
map.
guide.
Yeah, if you don't have a red light, get one, to read, because you don't. What red lights do is they don't destroy your night vision. If you don't have night vision,
Or get some red tape and put it in front of a spare flashlight.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
So that you have something like really low light, so you can read a map.
Saran wrap.
And if you are familiar with maps, like look at those different structures and like, okay, this is in grid here, and then be familiar with that during the daytime. And at night, it's like, okay, I'm in this grid. So you kind of have to like
know how to read a
navigate.
map. It's
Sorry,
over, and for people who don't know how to read a map, it's over, up. So you start at the bottom left corner, over. That's your starting grid, then up. So like, let's see, where's the castle located? Because everybody loves that castle. The castle is going to be, depending on what part of your castle you want to go to, is going to be D6. It's not going to be 6D. It's D6, or D5, depending on where you want to go. You see what I'm saying?
Also, if you guys are in Fort Worth, please be very, very careful on the steps. It is a very, very old structure, and it has been around for very many years. And we want to make sure it continues to be around for many years.
There are
Don't all stand on it.
There are improvements to Fort War. Metal grip has been attached to the gangplanks and the stairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could either go really good or really bad.
Oh yeah, could be a cheese grater.
Yeah, I really hope there's some rubber with that as well, or at least like maybe some Teflon tape or something.
Yeah, but it's going to be better than just the the little strips of wood that do absolutely nothing if you're wearing boots with a
or if it's rained recently, they get super slick from anyway. So yeah.
Either way, be careful, mind your steps, make sure you're watching where you're going. If it's on the night game, if it's on the day game, it could be wet from the day before or the day of, or whatever the hell happens with that blood, because God knows the freaking rain can never be predicted.
And wear proper footwear too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
at least ankle support, like high tops, bro. Like that's, I wear a like sport boot Converse thing. It works great. That's what I've been wearing. They work great for me, and they're anti-slip, so they work great.
Perfect.
Anything less than that, I don't think you should be stepping on field. I don't want you guys coming out there in runners, no joggers, no fucking walkers, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Please, no Crocs. Please, no Crocs.
Yeah, in a night game in the dark, you're gonna roll your ankle.
I swear, I hope to
at least once.
There is one spot that always gets particularly squishy towards the end of the day because everybody has run it through, and Ian knows exactly which one I'm talking about. It is right by the back net and right by that little like small bridge that goes across, and it gets real gushy.
Yeah.
You go step back there in your Crocs. I hope it fills. I hope your Croc fills.
All right. So before we
Enjoy.
divulge any further and we start just hammering each other with inane stuff, I know Moondog, you need to get out of here. Do you want to talk about your giveaway?
So, wanted to reward all the folks who joined the chat or who are watching and haven't necessarily posted anything on the chat. I'm giving away 5 of these. These are what I lovingly call the tactical scoop, and what it is a it's a foam coaster, but I designed this intentionally. Not only is it just as a coaster, but you can use it as a koozie. But also, what the practical use I have for it is to use it as a funnel. I've used this as a funnel to fill up my high cap mags or my bins and some of my grenades and speed loaders. So it's a great way to just pack this somewhere, and then you have a clean, usable scoop to pour your BBs into another receptacle. Plus, it's great for holding on to your beer at the end of the game and keeping it cool in your hand. So you get a chance to win. I'm giving it away to the first 5 folks who I'm going to post up a link in the side chat, and for the first 5 folks who post up their name and address, so I know that you're a legit person and not a bot. You will get. I will mail them to you. So the first 5 folks on that list. So let me just. Or do you want to post up that link there? Or have you ready?
Let me see if it'll get into the chat. But this doesn't hurt anyone who wants to write it down or do it right now. But I'll also put it in the chat. It should be linkable. Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to post a link right now in the side chat for everybody. So just go up to that Google form and post the first 5 folks who get their names in. I'm going to mail them to you, and be sure to tune in next week. It is next week. We're going to do the next live stream, right?
That's correct.
Yes, tune in next week. I'll be giving away 5 more next week. So if you didn't win this week, you'll get a chance to next week. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Stay on the live chat. I just have to go to a choir rehearsal tonight over here on the West Coast. So, all right, see you guys.
All right, thanks, Moondog. See you next week.
Hey, Moondog.
All right, there he goes. Now we can talk bad about him. All right, Ted, how long you been coming to Bad Blood?
Oh, geez. Since
one,
the
right?
first one, I think. Yeah. And I was gonna say before Moondog left, I was gonna say my first night game was Sugar Hill back at FBX back in the Phil Force days.
Oh wow.
So we had no night vision back then. That was like 2009, I think 2008, 2009.
That was over.
Definitely more than 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely more than 10.
Something like that.
That's great.
We're going on 20, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
I mean, I started playing 25 years ago, like in 2000. So, and back then there was only 3 brands, and I did do night games back then, and some people did have night vision back then too, like the original like Gen 1s, Gen 2s, and it still was night and day. It was fun.
Do you want to go down that rabbit hole, Ted, and just give us the layman's Gen 1, 2, 3?
Sure. Gen 1, really old. It requires lots of IR illumination to see. So I wouldn't recommend using it as a force on force. It's great for like tag or something or with friends. Gen 2 Plus is probably a good way of getting into night vision if you're on a budget. All the Photonis, if you're familiar with any of the tubes or any lingo, Photonis is Gen 2 Plus. They're actually great for mount stuff. So if you're doing from like forest to like a city, and there's a lot of ambient light, Photonis actually works really, really well. They're budget. And then Gen 3s, there's a lot of Gen 3s since Gen 3 has been around for a long time. There's a lot. There's older ones that are going for pretty cheap-ish. Night vision isn't cheap, but on the spectrum of night vision, they're cheap. And you can get them. You get them for under $1,800 or something for a PVS 14. And they beat the older Gen 2 pluses. When you're in the forest and there's no moon, Gen 3 will always outperform Gen 2.
That's
What are
fair.
these, bro?
Those are okay.
Go ahead.
I
go
have
ahead.
I have the Call of Duty ones. So that is digital night vision. So there's digital night vision, which is like the what are those called? The handheld ones. There's the Call of Duty ones. I should have wore those. I have a helmet mounted Call of Duty quads. Those things are like Gen 1s.
From the original MW2,
Yeah. The Modern Warfare Call
Modern
of Duty
Warfare 2
ones.
ones that came with the game.
I have let me do
Do they
I
work?
think
You
I
said
have those
these are
too.
like Gen 1s?
so yes, they work to a point. They
It's basically a camera
Yeah.
and a screen, and with some IR LED illumination.
Hell yeah, dog.
They work
So excited.
short distance, but it does not give you much
Right.
in terms of depth perception, and they will get overloaded by. If you hit them with a flashlight or something, they'll get overloaded.
So I just
could
posted
potentially
up a
cause
link
damage.
to my comparison. I don't know if it posted or not. But
Go ahead and put it in the
there's
private chat, I'll relink
put
it.
a private chat. Where's that? Okay, hold on. This.
Alrighty.
So I actually own this URL. Should I buy Gen1nightvision.com? And it's a big no. But there's a comparison chart on there. Of because I used to buy night vision just to test it out, take a photo, and then compare it to everything. So I do have all the digital night vision stuff that's out. So there's like Call of Duty ones. There's the Psionics. That's what it is. So you can go through there. You can kind of look and see like what Gen 1 versus Gen 2 versus Gen 3 in a very similar situation. And you can kind of see what the difference is. And I've met people like I used to go to some bigger airsoft ops, and the Canadian people would come down to it, and they would have dual psionics, which are they're electronic, but the problem was that the refresh rate was a little off, so you would move your head and then the image would move. And that's immediate vomit territory for me. So like whatever works for you, but the Gen 1 is more for like static kind of looking and using your IR and then not moving because it's your tunnel vision there.
My experience with the PVS2s, the precursor to even Gen 1, it was Starlight. Thing is, it worked fine for what we were doing in a Vietnam type scenario, but it had the nice eye cup, so you didn't get that dreaded green eye you can see from a mile away. Problem with that more was it makes noise.
Yeah.
Like the pre-Gen 1 Starlight stuff makes this high pitched whine that since you're using it at night, everybody's being quiet, everybody's being super still. You can hear that from a mile away. It's like, follow the screaming, crickets over there because that's the guy with the night vision.
Yeah.
These are my very first pair of night vision, so I bought these on a whim. They were like $200.
Digital isn't helpful against other night vision users. Why?
So where's a good place for me to go look in there, Primer? Where should I go looking for intro?
For intro
nods.
Oh man. I would say probably.
What would you call intro?
Look,
we'll say like
Gen 2 Plus.
The good ones to get into were Gen 2 Pluses. So where would I go?
So my first night vision was in 2015. It was like a Gen 2 Plus from like AVN or something. It was like awful, but it worked really well for what it was. So for like tactical situations where what you're doing, Gen 2 Plus is what you probably want to look for. They're older. If you do see something and you have questions about it and you're like, hey, is this what I want? Just send it to me. Usually a lot of people actually will like, I found these, are these good? And they'll just DM me and I'll be like, no, or they're okay. Or just stay away. But like, so if you have any questions like for that, obviously like if you're getting the Gen 3s, they'll be more expensive. I mean, COVID really hit the night vision community, like and everything's like 30% more since then. So like
Okay.
before COVID, you could get in the Gen 3 around $1,800 for a PVS 14. Now you're going like around $2,300. But if you get older stuff, PVS 7s work great too. I mean, they're a little funky because they're covering both of your eyes, but you're only seeing out one tube. So depth is like nothing. I actually have a pair up there. I should have brought it down. But like they're good. They're better than no night vision because they are Gen 3 and they make good tubes for them. So you know, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out and just poke me.
For
All
sure.
right. So I live in New York City, and I've read somewhere, and I believe this to be true. To actually, you have to get about 200 miles away from New York City to actually escape the light pollution here, right? Let's say I wanted to be like you, and I wanted to, walk a dog at 2 a.m. Granted, I can see perfectly fine because all the street lights.
Mhm.
What does that kind of ambient light do to a night vision wearer, any generation model? Does
Gen 2
ambient
Plus,
light
it will
do to
help
your
you. It'll help you a lot. But once you get in the
really?
woods, the like I mean, what's it called? Zulu. They're not that far away from New York City. And I don't think we get too much ambient light, especially nights out there are real dark. And without a moon, it's pitch black. Especially when you go into the brush, you can't see your hand in front of your face. Um, so that's where Gen 3s really pick up and like the higher spec tubes. But the problem is like especially if you have lots of money to just like drop on night vision, the problem is with night vision is you get incrementally less for the price. So when you get like a high spec tube, you can spend $10,000 on night vision and maybe you'll get this much more. So like when you get up to like a certain part of like the night vision tube, it's like you can spend a whole bunch more money, but you don't really get very much more money or more like out of your tube.
Okay. All right. So last, I know nothing question then. What would be, say I would just getting into the whole idea of using it, what would you call the lowest model or generational release to go to start with? 14?
Just do a Gen 2
Just Gen 2
Plus.
Plus?
Photonus works. And then some older green ones. I forgot what they're. I haven't had them on a long time. They're in that little guide that I
ATMs or
posted.
something like that.
But yeah, Gen 2 Plus is perfectly fine for airsoft. Especially with like a mount kind of situation where there's going to be some ambient light. Gen 2 Plus performs really, really well with that. The Photonus stuff is really good, and they're on the cheaper side too. I think the biggest thing about anything night is muscle memory. Reloading your mags is super hard if you don't know where things are. So anyone who's getting into night vision, I always say practice in your basement because we all know everybody's in their basement. Practice in your basement with no lights on, reloading that mag. Get that muscle memory in because when you can't see your mag, and if you're focused to like the tree line with your night vision, you look down, that's completely out of focus. It's like a camera. So you can't look at your mag well. So you need to get that mag in, like practice that muscle memory. If you're setting up your kit, set it up the same way every single time. So hey, you know what? These are my M4 mags. These are my secondary, like all of that stuff should be muscle memory because when you're in a firefight or whatever, and you're fumbling trying to like figure out where everything is, that muscle memory will really come through in the dark because you're gonna try to find the magwell. There's like magwell flare stuff you can buy, but just practice. Dry fire in the real steel community is a huge thing. Like I have a little dry fire target sitting like right over there, and like I work from home, so I can do desk dry fires. So desktops, yeah. So practice that stuff in the dark because when you can't see what you're doing, trying to find the magwell is actually really hard. And depending on like what you're reloading, like maybe an AK where you have to find that like little lip to get it up, or like an MP5 where it's like tiny, it's hard.
How do you feel about mounted, like head mounted versus weapon mounted? Like,
Head mounted is good for movement. Web mounted is if you. I feel like it's more for hunting.
okay.
If you're just in a stationary position and you can kind of like look, moving with a weapon mounted night vision is so hard. It's like you have to look, and it's not completely up to your face because it's on your rifle, and you're just kind of like, eh. Um, so for tactical situations like this, absolutely head mounted. And then then you can do passive stuff where you flip down, or if you have like you're 14 or whatever, and you bring up your red dot up to that. That's a passive way of you can shoot on target, and you don't have to light up any using any lasers.
All
or
right.
anything.
Because I know, go ahead.
So I got a couple of things. Night vision and red dots. You got to be careful. I think there's some that have like night vision modes.
Yeah.
So probably you might want to expand on that. And then thermal versus night vision. Those are two things that I have.
Yeah, exactly. So on the thing that I can't touch back here, I have a thermal. It's weapon mounted thermal. Because the refresh rate on it is like not. I could put it on my eye and kind of do that dual thermal and whatever, which would give me a complete headache. But thermal is tough, and I if anyone listens to the Zulu 24 podcast, there's a big thing about thermal. It's kind of cheat codes, because you can see people from literally miles away, so it's kind of almost like it removes the excitement from it because they're coming.
There was
because you can't hide from.
There was
thermal.
a vendor, Nick. You might have saw them. There was a vendor at SHOT Show this year that Moondog and I interviewed that had a weapon mounted thermal system that absolutely blew my mind. It was so crystal clear. Like they had it pointed down the aisle. And they were pointing it at people probably a good 100 yards away. I could read their lips. It was so high definition, and we're talking, this was probably a $30,000-$40,000 piece of equipment. So obviously,
I'm a very cheap person.
Airsoft, but just the way technology of this kind of stuff is just moving. And I'm like, Moondog was doing this interview, and I couldn't stop watching the little iPad that was displaying in real time the thermal on this rifle butt, and I was like, this is amazing. I was watching a conversation from 100 yards away through a thermal scope mounted on a rifle stock. It was amazing.
Yeah. And what's wild is the kind of the evolution of thermal and night vision together. So you can have like a Cody, which is a flip down thermal that goes over your night vision and puts a thermal section of your night vision and it merges them so that you can see thermal and night vision at the same time. And like the PSQs had it, but now you can just like buy them and just stick them on in like a PVS 14. But there's a new one.
Not even fair. You're just a walking predator at that point.
Yeah, you're just walking predator. It's predator vision. It's wild. And so I attend the East Coast Night Shoot every year because I do a lot of content and I cover it for video wise. And Alpha One Designs, I believe, came out with a new one that instead of going in front, it goes in the back. So that it can be like, it's not because over time that image, the thermal image going through your tubes will kind of like, it's not great for your night vision. But now that it's behind the tube, like right in front of your eye, it can feed in color stuff. It can feed in because when it's going through the tube, all the color gets lost. It's wild. There's so many new things that are out there. And unfortunately or fortunately, China has really kind of come up in the thermal world because like the restriction of Gen 3 outside of the US. So their thermals are cheap and good.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
And about the red dots and night vision.
Oh yeah. If you're using a red dot with your night vision and it doesn't have a night vision mode, just turn it like way down because you don't want to burn out your tube. Like some EOTechs, like the EXPS3s, will have that night vision button, and literally all that is it's like a quick all the way to the bottom switch.
All right. Sounds great. Well, I thank you for all that. Let's switch gears just for the last few minutes and talk about how you're going to make everybody famous with your photography skills during Bad Blood. What are you looking for? You looking for fashion show? You looking for just great action? What do you want?
Great action. Whenever they're screaming, I try to go towards that. Or smoke grenades. If you're throwing smoke grenades, I love seeing that stuff. Last year it rained a lot, so I couldn't get as much video. I this year I want to try to focus on video and photos, but last year it rained so much that like all my video gear is not waterproof, but my camera gear was. So hopefully we get good weather so I can get some good video, you guys. This is the only time of year I actually get out and do airsoft photography, which I've been doing for a long time and I love it. So I really enjoy coming out to this event every year. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I need you to take as many good pictures as possible because I steal all your work to make the intro graphics for the live stream.
Great.
You gotta Primer. You gotta stay this year for the Sunday skirmishes.
I wish. June is packed, and I got a little kid now.
June
so
is packed,
You live like 20 minutes
do
away.
you really
Come
want to
on.
miss the onesie brawl? Do you want to miss
I have
the onesie brawl?
This is news to me. What's happening here?
Oh, so me and a bunch of the staff guys are getting together, and all on Sunday we're gonna be rolling up for some onesie fun for one of the matches. You guys won't know which one, but randomly we'll all disappear, and we'll come back in onesie.
I have an American flag onesie.
So does one of my buddies. So we're rolling.
I wear it every July 4th.
Unless it comes with like a 9-foot long wig and a fan blowing straight at you, I don't want to see it. I don't care. Oh Lord, this is insane. All right, so let's wrap it up. Primer, thank you so much. You got any?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You got any closing words? Like, you know what? What are you up to before Bad Blood? You got you coming out to any other events? Or
I airsoft twice a year, and this is one of them.
Jeez, that's more than me.
Yeah, I know, but I shoot every month. I don't know if that counts.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Hey, Kill, what are you up to for the next month?
Oh, lots of Second Amendment events. Got a shotgun tournament at Lehigh Valley Sporting Clays, which is actually close to there.
Love that place.
On Saturday. So yeah, that's going to be that, and promoting Second Amendment here in Jersey and New York and everything. Just trying to get more people into it because it is for everybody.
Buck, what are you doing?
Lots and lots and lots of work. I gotta pay for all the stuff that we need for Bad Blood, and it is expensive, so I'll be working my little ass off. It's pricey.
Yeah.
Did, however, just get
Oh boy,
more radios.
You got more of them?
I have 3 now.
Oh jeez. I got
So these
two.
are. Yeah, we will have at least 7 of these bad boys on the field, hopefully boosting everybody's signal.
Are those the 10 watt or the 11 watt?
Those are the 25s.
No. The ones you and I bought, they're the 10 watt. The 25R, right?
Yeah,
But they also make
25R 10 watt. Yes.
So those are the 10s. Nice.
Yes, those are the 10s. Also,
Okay,
you need to
Primer.
find me this year.
Radios. Do you need a radio for the night
Yes.
game?
It would be recommended that you have it just in case you get lost. I'll have radio channels for staff. Just be like, I don't know where I am. But I mean,
lost and don't know
not
how to
really.
read a
Really, I
map.
just need a flashlight. Yes, map. Read the map. Know how to read a map. That's like tenderfoot Boy Scout stuff.
It's in the player packet.
And if you have a flashlight, make sure you bring extra batteries.
Yes, always bring
because
extra
it will die at the most inopportune time.
Very good. Very good. Well, I want to thank everyone and Moondog for joining us and Tex, who was floating in and out. I think he was confused where he was. That's okay though. It was fun.
Hey,
Oh, he's
speaking of
back.
sex,
Oh, there he is.
and he's gone.
All
Oh,
right.
there he's gone.
So again, I want to thank everybody, Primer for letting us in to his little world of night vision, and everyone make sure they're there for the night game, starting promptly at 7:30 because I do not believe in Airsoft Standard Time. I am that taskmaster. Get used to it. I'm the charge now. So that being said, this has been Bad Blood, and we will see you next week.